SaaS founders, are you ready to scale your company? Most actions you take will have absolutely zero measurable impact on your business unless you can answer these 3 questions. So give me the next 5 minutes and I'll show you how to find the only single one activity that will scale your SaaS business today. Drop me a line below and I will send you my SaaS scaling playbook that will help you implement these strategies immediately. I'm Jean-Michel Moreau, and I help SaaS CEOs and GTM leaders unlock product growth using a scientific approach to advertising. With over 20 years of experience in tech, including roles as CMO and Chief Product Officer and running $250 million global product launches, I've developed the massive feedback method to help CEOs grow and scale faster. This method helped one of our recent clients achieve a 4.3x return on ad spend using this process. So in every single episode, I'm going to give you something that you can immediately implement so that you can scale and exit faster. So you want to scale your SaaS company, you want to increase your MRR, and you want your product to actually make a difference. And if you're anything like most SaaS founders, you're tired of wearing a million hats and that feeling of never being truly on top of your business. There's always something on fire somewhere. And what if you're grinding away on things that don't even matter? So the solution is to shift all the reasonable resources into solving the single business constraint. But how can you be sure you've actually found the business bottleneck and you're not just stacking on assumptions? How do you do it? You do it by answering 3 crucial questions that will guide your scaling efforts. Working harder is never the solution for entrepreneurs. You don't win by working hard, you win by finding the most leverage. So let's break this down on the whiteboard. The first thing that we need to understand is this triple constraint of a SaaS business. At any given time, you only have one constraint, and it's either going to be lead flow. So basically your marketing, either you're not getting enough leads into the business. Those could be, leads, trials, that kind of thing from your marketing. It could be that your constraint is you're just not closing enough leads. Your sales process is lacking. Or uniquely in a SaaS business, it's your product. Somehow something about your product is actually the bottleneck. You need to improve something in order to actually increase your MRR. So it could be leads, sales, or product development. So how do you figure this out? Let's just assume for like 99% of SaaS businesses, it's not the product. The mistake everyone makes is to build something. We're all craftspeople. We want to make something amazing. Usually it's not the product. Usually it's either sales or marketing that is stopping you. So what we're going to do for step 2 is map out the sales and marketing process at a high level in your business. I'm going to show the process that I use with most of my clients. Basically, you have ads and content, you're testing ideas, you're validating, you're being scientific, you're also putting in money, and you're creating videos. You're scripting them, filming them. Okay, so you've got videos that basically makes content. That's going to create leads, so some percentage of the people who see the content will opt in. Then you're going to push them through funnel pages, emails, calls, retargeting, and DMs to book demo, right? To get demos with the app, to talk to a salesperson. This worked for both B2B and B2C, especially for selling annual subscriptions. So we're going to get people to book demos. Then we want to make sure they show up, right? So then we have a confirmation process. We're going to text them, call them, email them, reminder sequence just to make sure they show up to the demo. Then you have people that show up. Then you're going to close the sale, hopefully. And if you don't, you may follow up with the highest value clients, like with one-on-one stuff, personalized one-on-one materials. The other purpose of video, if people watch video, you can retarget them and get them to opt in. You can retarget them and get them to book. But then video has another purpose, which is pipeline equity. Basically, if you create valuable, useful content that solves your user's problem, you made them an application, you can probably also make them a video that's helpful given where they are. That will help you elongate the sales cycle and get them warmed up. So before they come to you, they've seen some valuable content and you've kind of moved the free line basically, provided some value first, and the sales are much easier. So that's another purpose of video. So this could be your whole sales and marketing process, but only one thing is the choke point at any given time. So let's get to, we've mapped it. We're going to ask these 3 critical questions. A, what is the bottleneck? So only one of these, and you may have to zoom in exactly to see what it is. B, how do I know that that's the bottleneck? What actual real evidence do I have? If you don't have evidence, or you don't know what is the bottleneck, then that's the bottleneck. Your lack of evidence, your lack of understanding of the actual critical chain and the choke point, the bottleneck. So yes, what evidence do we have to support this? And C, how soon can I see if I've relieved the bottleneck? That third question is so key. A lot of times, especially if you have experience in a large corporation, you put a project on something and you may solve it that way. But in an earlier stage startup business, a SaaS business, if you're below 5 million ARR, the solution is probably not a large project. You always want to see, can I relieve the bottleneck today? Can I have evidence that I've solved it today? If not today, can I do it tomorrow? If not tomorrow, Can I do it in 1 week? What's the least amount of effort and time to see if I'm actually solving the issue? This is absolutely key to the feedback loop of scaling. This is going to sound a little bit ridiculous coming from a marketer, but marketing isn't that hard. You make people offers for things that they want, that they're aware of, and you make them a good deal, you build them a good product. That part's easy. The hard part is actually staying focused, because scaling is not just as simple as adding more money. You add more money, you're going to find something in here breaks first. It's usually not the ads, right? So after that, you've answered that question, you want to go on to step number 4. Step 4 is to focus your efforts only on activities that address this identified bottleneck and that can be measured quickly. So if you want a proven process to implement this, to scale your sales and marketing, drop me a line below and I will DM you my SaaS scaling playbook. No email required. Basically, this playbook gives you a framework to quickly identify your current bottleneck and typical metrics that you need to be hitting to make sure you're on the right track and to help you figure out where you should focus. It may sound simple, but it's the fundamentals, the relentless focus on the fundamentals that grow SaaS businesses. And this playbook is exactly what you need to identify your bottleneck today and actually make a difference in your business. If you work on anything other than the bottleneck, you won't actually see a large increase in MRR. You don't have the leverage. So this is going to help you find your leverage.